Okay, let's talk. Last night, President Zelinsky of the Ukraine gave a speech on the Congress floor. He received a standing ovation, lots of praise from news media and U.S. politicians. Mind you, I'm not taking anything away from the Ukrainians because I'm not on the front lines fighting this war. However, the reason why the Ukrainians have been able to be so successful is because of the billions of dollars that we've sent in financing or in aid in other avenues, weaponry, that type of stuff. And for as much as they praise Zelensky and the Ukrainians, I can't get on that boat with them because I still remember this.
I'm currently in Debrecen, Hungary. I got in like 10 a.m. today. Today is the 28th of February. It wasn't easy. On Friday at 8 a.m., I was on my way to Poland. I took a commercial taxi and the taxi couldn't stay on the line of cars because literally cars had been there for 2 days. And when we dropped, on the Google map, it was saying a 1 hour walk. And I was like, oh, 1 hour walk is nothing, if it's getting us there on time. And we walked. We walked and it kept increasing. The term walking is traumatizing me. The term walking, I walked for 12 good hours, and it's not an exaggeration. The traffic warden saw me and said I should go to a shelter to sleep. And I slept, and he said the next day that there is a bus going from that shelter straight to the Polish border. And when it was time to get on this bus, the Ukrainians said, just Ukrainians, literally as a black person. I even lied that I was pregnant. They didn't care. I was begging. The official literally looked me in my eye and said, in his language, only Ukrainians, that's all. That if you are black, you should walk. And that was an additional 8 hours from where we were. By car, it was like 30 minutes. So we had to walk additional 8 hours. The problem isn't at the Polish border. It is at the Ukrainian border. Because you have to step out at the Ukrainian border to get on the Polish side. And the Ukrainians are only prioritizing their citizens. They don't care. They will push you. They will beat you. If you can make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't. Like, I took a nap and I still felt like I was still walking, like I hadn't crossed over. It's not fair. Like, we're just begging to go. I literally had to go back to my city after that experience, re-strategize, and took a train to Hungary. It wasn't even easy getting to Hungary. We had to pay. Those that didn't have money to pay, what would they do? I couldn't help anybody because I was fighting for my life. It is a traumatizing experience, and I don't know where I'm going from now. I literally have to re-strategize in Hungary, try to get my ticket back to Nigeria because it's not safe. This place is not. If your skin is dark, you're at a disadvantage.
Yeah, every time I hear the war with Ukraine and Russia, President Zelensky, Ukraine, Putin and Zelensky, every time I hear Ukraine or Zelensky, that's what I think about. I think about how Ukrainians treated black African students who were trying to escape the war. The way that those students were treated, deplorable. And big time news media, Morning Joe, y'all know my love hate relationship with Morning Joe. They never addressed this story. This was a huge story all over social media. It was huge. There were organizations coming together. People were reaching out to these organizations, freely donating money to these organizations to try to get these African students out of the Ukraine because of how poorly they were being treated. Morning Joe didn't talk about it. They didn't talk about it on the morning shows over on CNN. There were two news shows that I saw talking about it, and that was Joyanne Reid. There was a brief discussion about it on Joyanne Reid's show on MSNBC and on Don Lemon's show on CNN, and he was doing the night show at that time at 10 p.m. That's when I saw it being talked about. People of color and black news anchors were the only ones talking about what was happening to black people in the Ukraine. So while you're out there today listening to how news media is praising Zelinsky, who never addressed what his people were doing to black people, I want y'all to remember this story and how they treated Africans who were just trying to get out.